everyone. Today's a special day. It's the release of my fifth book, The Warriors of Brea, The Empire of Damnation, and it's been a long time coming. I have been not very good at putting anything on YouTube to anticipate the release, which I'm sorry for, but I figured today would be a great day to do a dramatic reading of the first, or the prologue of this book, so that you can sort of get a hint of what's going to happen, and you could go check it out on Amazon. The link should be down below in the description. So I'll go ahead and just jump right in to reading this prologue. It's not very long, but hopefully it gets you excited for this final book, and it does not contain any major spoilers for the plot. It does reveal some stuff about characters, so if you don't want to know anything about if you don't want to have anything spoiled, if you haven't finished the rest of the series, stop here. Don't go on. So here is the prologue of The Empire of Damnation. Sometime long ago, a single weak beam of light shone down into the cavern. On the surface of the planet, it was the dead of night, with only a lonely moon to peer through the rock that concealed anyone down in this place. At that moment, Thanatos hated that little moon, for it illuminated the one thing he wished he never had to see. Few people occupied this cavern. That was how his mother had wanted it. Thanatos disagreed. There should have been enormous crowds here, their wails and laments of sorrow echoing off the bare stone walls. All in the empire should have been made to stare upon what lay at the cavern's center, the source of Thanatos' pain. It was more than pain. He could handle pain. He could kill it even. He had many times before. But not despair. Thea did not deserve this. Though her body was hidden in shrouds of lovely and soft fabrics, Thanatos had seen what the soul sickness had done to her. It made her ugly, weak, broken. Their ancestors had not shed blood and clawed their way to the top of the Empire's elite only to be defeated by something his people couldn't understand. An invisible, insidious enemy that proved just how fragile life really was. Despair at his sister's fate, as well as his own future, weighed upon him so heavily that he could not lift his eyes to look at Thea's shrouded form anymore. Weak, he told himself. You're weak. You can't be weak like she was. But if even his sister, the one everyone believed in, the one who his mother and father had destined to rule this empire when they were gone, could be defeated, then how could he withstand all of the challenges to come? Priests muttered their low chants. Thanatos' mother only allowed the priests she trusted most to witness this, though there should have been a whole retinue, hundreds of priests leading the dirge for a dead soul. Once their chants had ended, the priests lifted their arms over Thea's body. The shape underneath those shrouds lifted up, letting the soft, white fabrics flutter as they dragged on the floor. Slowly, the priests proceeded out of the moon's light, into the darkness that carried death and finality. There, Thea's body would lie until it decayed and nothing was left. The universe would forget her, just as it had forsaken her. Thanatos did not want to follow, and he was thankful his mother did not make him. The cavern was now empty except for them. The footsteps of the priests faded. Silence weighed heavy over Thanatos and his mother. He wondered what she was thinking about, if she felt the same despair he did. Of course she didn't. Empress Astrid did not feel despair. She would always fight, find a way to prevail, to never give up. And she always kept her thoughts to herself. Her aura was dim, her inner self retracted for no one to see, not even her own son. Much time passed in that silence. Thanatos grew impatient. He didn't want to stay in this awful place a moment longer, but he forced himself to stay quiet and still. Finally, a hand rested on his shoulder. He did not get a glimpse of the warmth his mother sometimes allowed to shine through. This touch was formal, perfunctory. Surely there were many more important things on his mother's mind than comforting her son. "Let us go. We have seen enough." She turned and walked away from the moon's light, the opposite direction of where Thea had gone. Thanatos followed, watching how her dress trailed over those tiny, loose pebbles. A question burned in his chest. It had resided there for a long time, ever since his father died long ago, and now it flared again. But Thanatos could not bring himself to ask it. As she walked ahead of him, his mother said, "Speak, my son. Something is on your mind." Her eyes remained firmly forward, her back straight and stiff as the stone walls around them. Before he could stop himself, he blurted, "What now? Father and Thea are gone. We are the only ones left. What do we do now?" His mother stopped. Though her back remained rigid, Thanatos thought he saw her head dip slightly. "We move on. We find a way to honor their memories. That is all we can do." "But how?" Silence fell over them once again, its weight threatening to crush Thanatos. His mother stood as still as the stone of the cavern, her aura still locked behind her wall of privacy. Thea wouldn't have to ask these questions, Thanatos thought to himself with a wince. She would just know. His mother turned. She towered over him, for he was still young. Her imperious stare and tight jaw made him want to shrink into the ground. "We will make our empire invincible, Thanatos. I have learned from this mistake, this error in the universe's design. We may have lost Thea, and your father before her, but..." Her fingers lifted his chin, making his neck crane higher to meet her eyes. In them, a fire burned. "I will not lose you, nor our legacy. We will make this empire greater than anyone could dream of." This was his mother's way of comforting him. Some of the despair riddling his aura seemed to shrink, and he started to feel that if his mother believed he would not suffer the same fate as Thea, then he wouldn't. "Yes, Mother. I won't fail you." The corner of his mother's lips upturned, and fire burned brighter in her eyes. "Very good, my son. Together, we will defeat death itself. We will be its masters, never fearing what it has done to us ever again." Some more of the despair melted away, and Thanatos found that he wanted what she did. Perhaps that would banish the rest of the despair, deplete the vast ocean of it entirely. Like those gods the primitive ones believe in? His mother's smile grew a little wider. "Yes, I like that. Gods of death. What better way to conquer death than become gods of it?" Okay, so that was the prologue. I hope you enjoyed, and you can read the rest of the book by clicking down below on the description is the link to Amazon. Thanks.